So once more, hello, welcome everybody on our today's training. Welcome everybody who is online connected as well. So we are meeting here today to summarize various options where we can search for high quality images, because our demands on photos increased in the last months and years rapidly. So nowadays we are encouraging everybody to be as independent as possible and not to rely only on our Photodesk hours. As you all might notice, we've entered a new contract last year, end of the last year. Under the BDG, all entities can use unlimited amounts of AFP photos, AP photos, and Reuters photos. What I'm curious about you, do you work, everybody, on daily basis with photos, or what are your positions at RFE? What is your occupation? How experienced you are with working with photos and with our publishing system, GDB Pangea? Can we maybe start here and just very shortly, I like to know at the beginning, not to bother you with too many details. Maybe you are all webmasters, editors, etc., or maybe there are some beginners in between. So just to know how in detail we should go.
Social media producer in Kazakh service, and there was one case when I actually used the Pangea to download image from AFP and run it through the Pangea.
Mm-hmm.
And but I hope that I will do it more.
Mm-hmm. Frequently, thank you.
I'm video editor at current time, and we use images for some elements like OTS
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Okay.
I'm a web editor from Norfolk Service, and we have big issue with peaks, but we use peaks for the video, for the photo galleries, and whatever.
So also on daily basis.
Yeah.
I'm from Pangea, so we use photographers for images from the very technical point of view.
Right, not for broadcasting, but you use the images for presentations, etc. So you also look for high quality images. Hello.
From Radio Mashal, I also use pictures on daily basis, a variety of pictures both from the agencies and from our streamers as well.
Thank you.
So I'm from current time. I work as a commission editor, so for me it's more interesting how to commission programs with different kind of photos varieties, and what we can do. Maybe sometimes we need to change them because people don't understand what our requirements.
Hi.
I've been coming from Azerbaijani service. Mostly I work in the social media and video editing. This process daily.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Veronica Kuganin from Current Time. I'm web editor, and I'm like about write this photo, everything.
Okay.
Alex from Belarus service. I work with photos regularly on the web.
Hello, I'm from Ukrainian service, and I'm editing a video, and usually we use our own video. So I have a small experience with Pangea to download a photo, but any experience of making a photo.
Okay.
I'm from Ukrainian service. I'm junior web editor, and but as a writer, we are responsible for multimedia components. So we work with pictures every day on a daily basis.
Yeah, right. When publishing, you always need a photo. You can't publish a text without a photo or any use. That's why. Thank you.
And I'm from Zagreb service, and we often use videos from the different agencies, and sometimes we use photos also. We always report to you using the photos, and we have requirements and emails from you, usually on copyrights, local agencies, photos and video footage. I would like to get more information on this copyrights and not only these international agencies, but regional, local agencies.
Well, the copyrights explicitly are not part of the training. We will touch the copyrights issues, but not in detail, but we can prepare a small specialized training for you or for your people if you are interested. So you can collect the questions, what I would not answer today. And
more than 60 reporters in Kyrgyzstan
Mhm.
and outside of Kyrgyzstan, and they all upload photos.
Various.
Yeah,
Mm.
I got mostly emails and what is that, and if
Mm.
you can read the author, what's the source.
Yep, the basics we will go through. Okay, so thank you, everybody. So we can start now. So everybody worked with GDB Pangaea at least once, but so you know whatever photo we want to publish at our websites, we have to find it in a GDB Pangaea. So here are the few samples, how many various photos we have. Either we illustrate news or some features or illustrations. We use also graphics and paintings. So all of these pictures that are displayed at the websites, they have to get somehow into the publishing system. And that's why we are meeting here to find out how to do it, where to find them, how to upload them correctly, and how to choose the best suitable images. If you open at least once the Pangaea, you know that there are thousands of arrivals on daily basis. And in order to find them, localize them, we are searching according keywords. Pangaea has a full text search, so you can search 1, 2, or 3 keywords, but they have to be somewhere written in a caption. Otherwise, you can't find them. You have various options how to narrow your search, either according date, service department, various other sources. Here how the image is displayed. I will not go into detail because you all work with a GDB, so it's just like the preview how you get a site. And here how you get it there. Because before any usage you have to upload the image with a proper 5W caption. It's our mandatory standard for the whole RFEL. 5W caption in English. It means we are starting with a country for the fast localization of the region. And then we write who is on an image, what is displayed, where the image was taken, and when. And then we go through the service department, source, and the photographer's name, the date. So this should be known thing for everybody who works with photos. First step. And here, where you find the images that you want to get there. As I mentioned, we have various contractual agencies, but we have also various free sources, Creative Commons sources, official websites, etc. And the freelancers, the most risky area where you always need a permission to use their photos. Hello, welcome. Yes, of course. My popular sentence is that every photo has its owner. And with this, I'm touching the licensing and copyright. You can be safe with our agencies, such as Reuters and AP, but you never can be safe with the photos that you find on internet. So whatever you find, try to localize its source and copyright owner, holder. It's the person who took the photo, not the person who uploads it somewhere to social net. It's always the photographer or someone who is granted the rights. If I decide as a photographer I will give it to Reuters, it's okay. I give it to Reuters, they can distribute. Here how it looks like then, how do we use the opening images, how they should correspond with the headlines. All of these are legally obtained, either our ones in the left up corner or the agency ones with the top political figures. And here is the list of the agencies. Where do we look for the images at the first place? It should be always, of course, GDB Pangaea, because our service department uploads a lot of top news and international news photos. But as you have to move pretty fast sometimes, and you can't wait for us or for anybody, you need to download and get your photos for TV broadcasting or any other news broadcasting. You can look yourself within 4 agencies, 5 actually, maybe even 6, out of which the first 4 are unlimited. This is unlimited usage for websites, TVs, for your videos. First three out of them are under the blanket contract, the new contract that I mentioned. It means that all of you can have access directly to the website. You can search the images there, and you can download also high-resolution images. These images can be used all around under some basic conditions, such as credit. So always we try to name, the agency has to be named always, and whenever possible we are also trying to credit a photographer. It gives us some more prestige, and also it makes the agencies happy and photographers, because there is always a person behind the photo. So if someone delivers a hard work, it's nice to credit him. So the first three are the blanket contract. EPA is a separate contract but still unlimited. Then we have a Shutterstock. I will show you then in detail some samples from Shutterstock. This agency is dedicated for graphic elements. We try to prevent usage of editorial photos and news photos. The mic is... okay.
Don't touch that.
Okay. So Shutterstock, back to Shutterstock. It's the agency that offers different licensed images for graphic designers, vector files, EPS files, various arrows, graphic elements. So whatever you need for your social media graphics or for some video elements or graphics, use the Shutterstock, not the editorial agencies, but don't use Shutterstock for editorial news images. We have plenty of word-known agencies, and we prefer to use AP images for news items than Shutterstock. And the second reason is we have some limited quotas on Shutterstock. That's why you are granted access through your regional directors and only for specific justifiable purposes. TAS is another source for additional material. We have also quotas. Some trained users, such as Current Time and Digim, have access. The others can request photos at our photo desk. Always, whatever you need, you can send us your request. We will download for you. So this was the summary also on copyright. So every photo that is uploaded into GDB has to have a proper credit and caption, and has to come from some legal source. With the freelancers, it's a bit more complicated than with the agencies, because you always have to be in touch with the freelancer. If you find a photo on internet, you just can't take it, copy it, and upload it into and use it. So you need either a phone call, email conversation. You can write them via chat. What I often do, I write via Facebook chat. And the people who are displaying the images on internet, they are mainly also online all the time, so we get pretty fast their replies. So it's better to ask fast and get an answer than to violate some copyrights. And now it was on a news photos and maybe some graphic elements, but we are also facing kind of unwanted illustrations with generic photos being used with the news articles. And I show you now a few samples how the illustration can be done without going too generic. And you have some topic that's covering more issues, but it's all about the women suffering in war or some. So you can always use some editorial file photo. You don't need to go with some painting or with some really generic shot. Look through the sources for some editorial newsy photo and write it properly in a caption. So in this case we use Potocari, but we write it's like 2017, so we are not misleading the viewers. We show them this is illustrative file photo that corresponds with the article. It's just like 6 months older, and it's very generic. It covers the whole news. Here another sample for editorial illustration. If you need to write about some petrol prices or something, you don't want to take any exact petrol station or exact country, so you can go around with some editorial shot like this. Again, it should be properly credited, AFP photo, and a caption is missing. Here another sample of editorial illustration. And here another one. The headline says ethics in politics. something like this. So the editorial illustration is well chosen. What do I miss is a caption, because here we are misleading the viewer. The viewer does not know what it is. This is not a generic shot. This is editorial shot from some conference. So the photo is well chosen. It corresponds with the headline. We just need to write like what it is. And what it is, maybe there could be something like attendees of the conference in Switzerland, and a date 2017 or something. And then we are already fine to go because the picture is nice. It shows the politicians, maybe during some break. And here's some samples of what I meant with a generic and kind of unwanted illustrations. These pictures are maybe fine to go for some graphics. Maybe you display a chart, how the prices go up, or like what all sorts of the medications you have, or if you need something for social media, maybe you do some basic charts and you illustrate, I don't know, medical, so it can be also like school equipment for children, it can be anything, then okay. But please don't use such images as opening images for your editorial articles. And here the sample how to go around, you can use editorial shot. If you really need something like generic, not very specific, maybe you write about more pills, you don't want to have one producer or one exact one, then go with something around that's not significant with anything. Does not have any names on it, the left one. Or here's a sample of another topic that sometimes needs to be illustrated, that you don't report about exact news, you just write about the phenomenon or something. So here are the samples like we would not like to go, like of this kind. Well, you could use something editorial, like maybe the people carrying the flag. It's not related to any place, there are no visible buildings, so it can be, it's a country neutral, it's also like people neutral or something like this. But again, these are the news items, these are the web publications. If you work on some social media video and you need some really strong, like one element, then you can use the flag only or something. That's of course different case. Here the editorial sample. So again, you can't see like where it is. It can be used all around. Here a few samples of good editorial illustration. Once we write or report about Visa, we can take the real building, the real embassy, the real flags, and we can show the real situation or the harvesting. But again, we did not have the recent photos, like from today, so we have to write file photo. It's the same place, these are the real workers, it's just like the photo not from today, but maybe a few months old, so we write it's a file photo. Again, not to mislead the viewers. We don't want to tell them like, this is the harvester today, but it's a good one. Or more generic, or about amnesty, you can use some small things. So this is the editorial illustration. How to go around if you don't have exact news photo to go with your video story. You can still find some ways around. Again, the reaction, the flag, something symbolic, good caption that's telling like what it is. European Parliament. Here a sample of not wanted ones. These are the generic illustrations that we want to prevent. Well, this is a good one. You know, instead of the other ones, you can use the flags like this, very symbolic. If you report about people, workers, society, use some unnamed crowd or something not very concrete. Or the graphics. This is always a nice way to go. Once you produce them yourself, use the elements, produce any kind of graphics. That's perfectly well. Here again the sample for Shutterstock or for some elements. This is what I meant with the graphic design for graphic designers, that you can use vectors, EPS files, take just like maybe only people, place them on different background, or for some drawings, paintings, stuff that you don't find in the news agencies, you can go to Shutterstock. And here the overview, what we went through. So on the top, I can distribute this list to you after the training, maybe in some small PDF file with some other notes. So BBG blanket contract is AFP, AP, and Reuters. All of you, if you don't have logins and you want to use the newswires and archives, both is unlimited, send your request to our photo desk that you are interested in an account, and we will arrange it for you with their representatives. Here the address you can send it to. It's unlimited use for all websites and TVs. A bit complicated are the social media. There are some restrictions on how to use your content on social media. So here's the small summary. It's under the new contract, we can upload only small size images. It means no high resolution.
Where is the border?
It's, I would say, 1000 pixel. It's like general, it's like standard on the market between 600 to 1000. Some of the agencies, they specify it and they say 640 to, I don't know, 420. But I believe that 1000 is still okay because 1000 is internationally accepted as a low resolution. And this is the size what our website displays. So if you want to be safe, take only images, because it's also conditioned, the images have to be first time published at our website and then they can be posted to social media. You can't take any image from the agency and upload it to social media. So the most safe way is to take them directly from the website. Copy and paste, because it meets both requirements, first on a size, and secondly, the images are already copyrighted. They have a copyright stamp. Once they have been published at our website, they have a proper credit. So you are double safe. These images then you can take and upload any amounts to SocialNet. But the condition is first publication at any website, small size, and link back. Proper attribution is fulfilled with a copyright stamp on an image. If you have an image, if you want to use any other one without a copyright stamp, write it within the caption. On Facebook, you write photo and you credit the agency, or on Twitter or on Instagram, you use this kind of hashtags for AP images, for Reuters, EPA, because you can't link back on Instagram. And also, if you crop on Instagram one-to-one four-corner image, you might crop away the copyright stamp. So then, this form is suggested. And here's the list of other agencies we went through already, so there is no need to repeat: EPA, TASS, and Shutterstock. Further, you can of course use all the public domains, but be careful, use always your critical thinking. You can use the images that are uploaded on internet in Creative Commons. But again, please always, when you use images from outside sources, be really suspicious and really think like, can it be maybe that someone, some private user uploaded it? Isn't something strange on it? Is it really like a summer photo, or is there a snow? Can it be? Because you don't have two reliable sources. Once you copy something, or even from Wikipedia, how do you know that the user really uploaded the correct information? Anybody can access, anybody can upload. So it's hard to prove and double check. So this was the short presentation. And now please come up with any questions that you might have to the agencies and to licensing, to SocialNet. And if you have no questions, I will give you also a benefit because the Olympics are approaching.
Yeah, is it possible if we connect two pictures from the agencies and make it one?
Yes. If it's only a crop, you need two political figures, crop the figures, put them together, but credit then to both agencies. The proper would be RFEL graphics / a name of both agencies. If you have left AP, write AP, comma, EPA, whatever. To notify that you made a graphic from these two photos. It's always very logical. Whatever you take and you do, you just... What is not, what the agencies are not allowing, AP and AFP and all these news agencies, is manipulation. like graphic manipulation. If you would have, I don't know, any politician with a few tanks on some parade, you can't just take the tanks away or the machines, or you can't change the background, or you can't take the person and make maybe that there were 3 people. That's already misleading. You can't change the content in a way that's misleading the viewers. You can't change the reality. But if you just take 2 portraits and put them together, that's completely fine. And that's the usual way how to present. You can put more people together, 3, 4, 5, as many you want. So long you don't recolor them or change the hair. So. But you laugh, but sometimes you would be surprised what a news media organization can publish.
One question. Sometimes, like some of the people send us their photos, and they like telling us, we ask them that can we publish it?
Mm-hmm.
They say that yes, they are their personal photos and we can use it. So can we?
Yes, then it's completely fine.
Could you repeat the question for these people who are on the
Yes,
stage?
so the question is, if you receive a photo from a private person or any freelancer or just any public stating that they took the photos themselves or that they belong to them and that we have rights to publish, then it's completely fine. You can use the photo, upload the photo. Proper credit would be then courtesy / name of the person who granted you the permission. Because you always have it either in email or in some chat. Yeah. If you are in touch with a person, then it's completely fine, and we are happy to use all those images because they maybe are different than the mainstream agencies and they make the broadcasting richer. Also for your specific stories, you don't find the images at the agencies. These are covering main world top news, but you all are reporting about people and their daily life and various remote areas. So there it's of course perfect if we have a net of people who are supportive and sending us the images. But again, be a bit careful if you don't know the people. We can get also misleaded, but it can be taken some other year or fake news, or maybe here are the floods, but they are 1 year old. So then of course we are the ones who are not accurate.
But how is safe in this case if we talk to somebody, to some person, and we need his or her photo for illustration, and that person sends us the portrait and say it's fine with them, but it's obvious that it's not that person who did the photo. There's some photographer and they don't name the photographer. Is it okay if we put the copyright to courtesy photo and this person?
If you have it in written and the person really send it to you, then you are safe because you can always present it before the trial. The question is, if someone sends the photo that it's obviously not, that he or she did not take, stating that we can use it if we can really use it and if we are safe. In this case, it's not really safe from a legal point of view, because if the person is not the owner of the photo and is anyway providing it to us, then the author, the owner, could claim on us some fee. But we could then present, like we could apologize and show our correspondence and our written permission and pay the fee afterwards. So I would use it because there is no way how to prevent it. But very safe it's not, because it can be famous photographer and maybe this private person takes it from very often.
Specifically if it's a portrait of that person who's sent.
Yeah, it's anyway, it can. No. It does not matter what photo it is. It can be. There are some special, it always depends how the photographer agrees with the person. It can be that some famous photographer photographs me and gives me the photo with the permission. You can distribute, you can use it anytime, whenever you are reporting about yourself, then I can do it. But if the photographer gives it to me only for my Facebook or for my private usage, then I'm not authorized, then I do not have right to do it. So it's very difficult for the third party to see what was the agreement with the photographer. But I would see it as pretty safe. If someone is suggesting, please use this photo, feel free to use, we can always present this as a permission and we can always negotiate some fee if the photographer, if it would be different, you know, if the photographer, someone would wake up and charge us for violations, we can always say, but we got it from this and this person, we have it in written, so we are very sorry, we got misleaded, how can we compensate? And it's definitely much cheaper than just to copy and paste and wait for angry photographers and they're living on us.
And in some cases, we have faced the situation like our colleague Cindy also called you once. For example, if a person dies and we have access to his or her social media account, such as Facebook. So what are the rules? How can we use the pictures?
Then
the owner is no more.
Okay, so if we have a situation that we, for example, need to report about some activist who was kidnapped or about a person who passed away and we can't request a permission, what I do, we evaluate the risk. We look at the photos and we evaluate the market risk, how risky it is to use them, how professional they are, and we consult with Ben Herman. Every issue like this, we send a short note to Ben Herman and he gives us approval. Okay, this is a fair use because you can't request.
He is not replying in many cases.
Then copy us also. Copy me.
No, I
copy me also.
And you copied him and he didn't reply.
It was the, what was the?
It was last week.
Ah, right, that was the activist. On one image with a baby at the fire and the other image was somehow with the glasses kind of.
Mr. Robin didn't reply to you.
But the images were low risk and we approved the usage, right? Without Ben. Was it the end of the case, right? So in these cases, sometimes we can take the responsibility and say, okay, here you go, because you want to report. And I would be careful with the children, with the displaying the children victims and faces. It's like in a Western law, European law is forbidding to display faces of children victims. So I don't know, for this you would need to ask your service directors to see what the ethics of your service and what the standard would be. But you are right, it's complicated because we don't know who took the images, we can't ask, and still some photographer can earn some money on us.
There is a specific policy. For example, each time should we ask Ben Herman?
On this case, how many times someone is kidnapped or is done? How often it is? Once a week?
It can be both the murderer, such as in Paris, I take there was a young man with a truck. So the only access to his photo was his social media account. In that case, sometimes a person is murdered and sometimes a murderer. In both cases, I mean, we use such situations. For example, like twice or 3 times or 4 times a year.
You know what?
So can't you make a specific rule, a specific policy for such?
I can suggest one specific. If you want to be fast and kind of safe, screenshot the social media account. If you have the image there, do not take it down and do not upload it again as an image itself. Then screenshot the account and write it in a caption. This is the last upload or the last image of this and this. The person was last. The person was last seen or something. Do it this way until you get approval for the images themselves. Because this is a reporting about his account, and if you write it within the caption, it's completely fine.
What is the set rule for this?
Set rule is that you should not publish any image without a written permission. In this case, you can't achieve this rule, so you have to find some special way, and that's why you need to ask Ben or screenshot the web and try to find any possible ways out of the situation that is not standard. Very officially and very legally, you should really look for the person who took the image of this missing or dead person. And how you want to do it, it would be like a detective office. You would need to sit 24 hours or 48 hours and just search, Google search many times.
So what was Ben's reply to you?
Go and use it as a fair use if you are reporting about a person. In most of the cases, there were some special ones if the people were a bit known, and then we were more careful with some really staged portraits, kind of really professional people looking to the camera that was kind of visible. It's high probably from some professional photographer. While when you see a selfie taken in a car, you might estimate, okay, this is fine to go because this is on Facebook, the person photographed himself, posted there, so wanted to be this image public, so somehow critical thinking, consultation, it's not a standard case to set the rule.
It's almost like courtesy, if you have courtesy photo permission, but the owner, she or he doesn't want his name to be shown as a courtesy / his name.
And you have to agree on some other name. What you can also do, you can credit courtesy / name of your department or the radio. You know, to go around. Just like, because we can't use courtesy only, and if we can't name the source, then use the name of your department. I would just credit, I don't know, Radio Mashal, Radio Svoboda. In a description, so we know that we have a permission, or keep the permission somewhere that we know that it's really legal, but if there are any justifiable reasons, such as security or the wish of the owner, maybe he just does not want to be public from any reason, does not matter what, then write the service department. Oh, you can also write a family archive stuff, but it's always a bit irritating, you know, once you write, if maybe an historian would give you an image of Mr. Anton, some sample, you can, and it's archival historical image, you can always write courtesy / and then Anton's family archives or something, you know, because it's like somehow go around that it has a credit and if we find some images, we will send you a note.
Do you think there can be a risk of someone who has died and a person who is living, he claims that he has taken his picture, so why did you use it?
It can be, and it also happens sometimes, but then the court is deciding and wants to see the data. So either film, if it's an archival image, film is really approved, or raw data taken with a digital camera. It's often like this, that the people are claiming ownership on some photos that do not belong to them. Also, sometimes if the freelancers are claiming some violations and asking the companies for money for illegal publications, then they also have to prove the images are theirs, and they have to show raw data as taken with a camera with all the metadata. And so any other questions?
For example, if you are creating social video for social media platforms and just cropping the head of politician, for example, so and there are a lot of like little parts of the different photos, for example,
it's not good. Reuters allow it with the top political figures under the conditions that we do not credit them. They said if you really need head of Putin or Trump, use it, but do not credit us. And the best way would be to use the Shutterstock or public domains. Or someone who is really not recognizable, like really top figures. If you have probably portrait, it's hard to track.
For example, when we use the photo from the Shutterstock, how we should credit it? Also,
Shutterstock somewhere. Put somewhere their credit. If you use a lot of heads and things, then credit somewhere RFEL graphics / Shutterstock. So it's known that you produce it. It's our graphic, not the Shutterstock one, but from Shutterstock elements. It's the same way, like if you put 2 images together or 4 images, same way. Somewhere, at least once at a piece. So if you have the video, it can be on screen, but it can be also at the end. If you have like one page dedicated to credits and producers, you can do it at the end of the piece. Very proper and correct way according to contracts. It's always on screen. So every image gets a credit on screen.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for attending. I'll send you this list so you have the overview. You can then log in and try and send us your requests if you would have any problems.
And this will be for the service or some person?
These are personal. All the like AFP, AP and Reuters, both newswires and archives, anybody can access for a fast search, download high resolution, and etc. Shutterstock is always for departments because we want to limit the usage. There are some quotas, so always the service directors give the access to their people, whoever really needs it, and TASS we are downloading TASS. Current Time has
I think we
access.
still have TASS.
Current Time has, Russian service has, Russian service has, Current Time has, and Digin has.
By, I think, Victorna, if you know him,
Yeah,
long time ago.
yeah.
It still works.
Okay, perfect.
It works also for RIA Novosti, but we cannot use it anymore, right?
Right. It's decided by the
I'll
editorial board. So from one day to
okay,
another.
I'll send email.
Perfect. Okay.
I have two technical questions.
Yes, Dragan, I have also technical questions.
I have a questions from Belgrade.
Okay, so I'll just reply here,
Yeah, sure.
and then you can. Yes, no problem. We have time.
So most of our
But why you
freelancers.
didn't ask questions when the old people were here?
Because I'm not sure.
I don't
It's a
think
private
so.
question.
It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. So tell me fast, so the people don't wait. And
And they all are not. They don't have good proper English. And is it possible to write this capture in Panjir in our languages, in Russian or in Kyrgyz?
yeah, well, you know what is the problem? It's of course possible. If you need to broadcast and upload the image fast, do it. But then someone should write at least the basic words in English, because if we want to use the image, we will never find it. The search looks search in English. So if you describe the image of someone only in your local language and then Central Newsroom or anybody else, we can't find it. So at least basics. If they can't write the proper English, maybe at least the name, they can always write in English the name of the country, city, and maybe they don't have to write the whole sentence, maybe just the city and date taken, it's international, if it's January or March, this can everybody, just like really basic few, country, city, and if you know the name, what
when
is...
we use photos from other agencies, should it be shown on the main photo, like on the corner here? Can you open the site? Or can you open our site?
Our site? Whatever is in GDP Panjia gets automatically the copyright credit. So. Maybe in between I can listen. So if you open the image, you see it gets automatically the copyright.
But in most cases, you ask me show the agency's name, but we put it inside, but it's not shown on the image.
Really? But that's not possible. Because look, whatever we whatever you open, it's always name of the agency.
Yeah, and where should we put? We put in the name of photographer?
No, here, look, I will show you. This was the slide here.
I have like
So here you go. So this is for the RFEL. If it's like your, then RFEL name of the photographer. If you don't want to, from security reason, write the again the radio name. And here the agency. The same way, AP. Here source. So here you choose the department. I work on an English side. This photo was from AP, and here.
But there is our agencies are not listed.
I will add them. Send me the list of the agents that you need to add, and I will add them. It will take me a few minutes, and then you can always choose the agency, and if you know the name of the photographer, then also the name of the photographer. Whoever, I can adjust the list. It's very fast. Just need the proper names. So. No, oh, I don't know, because the attendees.
You can switch it off because it's.
No, we have some more questions from them, so
Okay.
can switch it off.
Just a short question. What's about the situation when I read all terms from the Twitter and the Instagram 3 years ago or more.
Mm-hmm.
And the terms of the Twitter, for example, say if you upload something in Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
you will give the rights to Twitter
Mm-hmm.
about that. It was the story about the images from the National Geographic
Yeah, and it's the
accounts
same.
in social media,
Mhm.
and it was the, you know, and what about?
That's actually the reason why the agencies are limiting upload of high resolution images, because whatever you upload to social media, you are losing the rights. They belong to Facebook, they belong to Instagram. So small size and
My question
copyrights
is
them.
about taking from this.
It's the same way. Once you take photo from the social net, you have to find its owner.
I mean, maybe we must credit Facebook.
No,
too.
but the Facebook is no. You can't take it the back way. If you find on Facebook a photo of anything, maybe some field, some village, and you want to use it, you have to find out who took the image. It's not enough to write Facebook, because they do not have rights to provide it to the third parties. So you have to find the person who uploaded it and send a quick note. Did you photograph it yourself? Can we use it in our reporting?
Okay.
With credit to you. So I obtain via Facebook and Instagram daily images, but I'm crediting social media / and the owner.
Okay.
It can be anybody, so, and they reply really fast. So whatever happens, also if we have some event in a state, someone projecting Putin on a Soho hotel and something like this, and no one really captured it from the agencies, but many volunteers and also the photographer of this artist. So I wrote the artist, who is your photographer, who took the images, can we use? They reconnected us and we got really fast reply, yes, use it with a credit to me, my name is this and this. So in this case you can then choose social media / name of the photographer or courtesy / name of the photographer.
Okay.
But you always have to get a permission.
Okay. Thank you.
At least via chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
So, and what are the questions of our bureau?
Let me show you. This is, we have it here. So if you can answer to this, Mila from Belgrade is asking these questions here. So if you go down and just answer to this. This is the first one.
So is it okay to use news agencies such as Reuters, IP photo taken from Pangaea as a background for the quote of politicians with social... I have to see the sample because this for me sounds as a heavy manipulation, so it's not okay. Dragan, can you help me to zoom in for an example?
How you want to zoom?
I don't know where to zoom. The question, zoom in for an example, what does it mean?
Oh, no, she's...
editorial photos, but in general, editorial photos cannot be used for graphic purposes. For this you can use Shutterstock only or some public domains or our ones, RFEL images. So next question, we always request approval by email from the author of the photo with remark that RFEL can use it without financial compensation. Can we use those photos afterwards in other cases when photos are related to the topic, or are the courtesy photos just for that one specific topic? So, very officially and legally, the photos are, when you, it depends what license and what permission you obtain from the owner. He can grant you multiply, that you can use it repeatedly anytime, or he can explicitly say, okay, this photo can go only this one time article. So it's always case by case. Depends how you agree with the owner. There is no general standard that courtesy photo can be used only once or multiply. Depends on an agreement with the owner who provides them to us for courtesy usage.
I guess that's all. That's the last question.
Any other questions? Tak pane Dragane.
To je všechno. Hvala Mila. Ja ću da prekinem stream sad. So